Okay, ladies, gentlemen, and tropical fish of all ages, welcome to Diagramming 101. Now, the whole point of sentence diagramming is basically to show you how all the pieces of the sentences fit together, how they depend on one another, and what their relationships are. They're really, really easy to do, they're kind of fun, and I like them a lot. Now, if you've ever been sitting in a really boring grammar classroom and they've given you a sentence to study, for example, my cat ate fish yesterday, your grammar teacher may have made you label the subject with a little s and the verb with a v, or, more likely, thinking that they were doing something fun, they made you do things like underline all the nouns, put a circle around the verb, put a triangle around the adverb. Okay, when I look at that, I see a big mess that doesn't tell me anything about the words. Diagramming, though, solves that for us. You get to see how the words are actually related to one another. Let's start again. Get rid of that mess. Here's our cat. She ate fish. Possibly even yesterday. Stella will be best pleased. Now, every diagram starts with the same setup. If you're familiar with basic math and graphing, the XY axis, that's the same setup we're going to use here. There's your XY axis. And right here, this is where you're always going to put your subject. Then right here, always going to put your verb. So no need for this label the subject, label the verb, put a triangle business. They're always going to go in the same spot. You don't even have to label them. You'll know what they are. So here, let's look. What is the person, place, or thing, or idea, doing the action? Well, it's actually easier to find the action first. What's the action? Ate. So ate goes in our verb spot. So far, so good, right? Now, who or what in the sentence ate? Did the fish eat the cat? While entertaining, not so much. So, the cat did the eating. So the cat goes in the subject. Now, we have the subject and the verb of this sentence. Why does it matter? Because when you're looking at how a sentence functions, you need everything that the sentence is about, the subject. To relate it to reading, that would be the main idea of the paragraph, the topic sentence. Then everything the subject did. When we get done diagramming, everything on this side of the line will be your complete subject. Everything on this side of the line will be your complete predicate. So, every word that describes the cat, tells you more about it, is going to go under the word cat. Makes sense, right? Like dangling earrings. They don't actually change the cat, they just make it prettier. Now, what word in this sentence describes the cat? My, right. So, drawing a nice diagonal line, capital letters optional, I think, you've got my cat. Now, I'm going to cross off the one that I've used. I've used my, I've used cat, and I've used ate. We're left with fish and yesterday. Now, the word fish is what we call a DO, or direct object. It is a person, place, thing, or idea that directly receives the action of the verb. It's really super easy to find. You say the subject, you say the verb, and then you go, what? And you got to do the ghetto hands or it doesn't count. What? And if you get an answer, that's your direct object. If you don't get an answer, then your sentence doesn't have a direct object. Now, direct objects, because they get the action of the verb, are going to go next to a verb. So cat ate what? Fish. So here's where it goes. Little half line, extend the verb line, and you put fish. It's what the cat ate. Now we're left with yesterday. What does yesterday tell us about? Does it tell us about the cat? No, not really. Does it tell us about the fish? Sort of. What does it tell us about the fish? When it was eaten, right? So really what yesterday tells us is about when this action happened. Therefore, it's going to go under the verb because it describes it. Yesterday is what we call an adverb, or ADV for short. But the beauty of this diagram is that you don't need to know all these little acronyms. You just need to know how the words connect together. Now, could you turn that back into a sentence? Sure. And you know that my describes cat, yesterday tells when this action happened, and cat ate what? Fish. Okay, let's try another one. Let's say my annoying brother broke the lamp. That happened all the time in my house. They were always playing baseball in the living room. Okay, we're going to start just like we did before. Right? Now, the easiest way again is to find the action. Find the verb. What's going on here? Broke. So let's put it in our verb spot. Very good. Now, who broke? Brother. Right. And now we're going to straight up look for our direct object, see if we have one. Brother broke what? Lamp. Right. Now we have the core of our sentence. Everything else is descriptive. This is the core. So let's go back to the beginning. My tells us about what? Brother. So it goes under brother. Annoying, again, yep, tells us about brother. Now, nouns, which is what this is, or verbs, can have tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of words hanging off under them. They just all get their own line. Okay? If you ever need more space, just make that line longer. We have brother, we have broke. Now, the is what we call an article. We only have 3 in English, a, an, and the. The tells us about what? That's a little harder, isn't it? The what? The lamp. Okay, so it's going to go under lamp because it describes it. And there we go. Now, let's move on just a little bit. We'll kick it up a notch, as Emerald says. What if we have 2 people doing the actions? We have 2 subjects. What if Mark and Lisa ate pizza? They're very excited about it. Okay. Now, we're going to start with our basic. And what's our action here? 8, right. But we're immediately going to run into a problem. We have 1 line, but 2 people who did the eating. So what we're going to do is take this line and split it in half. So instead of 1 line, okay, we're going to spread it out and make 2. And there's Mark, and there's Lisa. And now in the middle on that dotted line, we're going to put our conjunction and. It makes sense to put it there because it's a joining word, and therefore it's joining the two together. So we've got our subject, we've got our verb. Let's see if we have a direct object. Mark and Lisa ate what? Pizza. Right. Well done. Now, this same double structure, called a compound subject, can work for verbs, and they can also work for direct objects, or pretty much any other piece in the sentence. But that's basic diagramming. Okay, let's try one on your own. You ready? Ooh, let's make this a bit of a tricky one, shall we? Okay, try that. And then I'll throw a compound at you. Ready? There you go. Try those.